Hello, welcome back to Listen to May. So, the first thing I want to say about this episode before I start, totally unrelated to our actual subject, but I accidentally, I think, requested to register for a French culinary school. I don't really know how I accidentally did that, but here we are. I am a food science student, so I was looking into culinary schools for after college, just as a vague possibility. And I was looking at French cooking schools because if you're going to go to culinary school, why not do it in France? And so I requested like a brochure for one, and then I got a text today that said like, "Hi Mary Claire, this is Celine from insert French culinary school name that I don't know how to pronounce. Are you still interested?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I forgot I put in my number." So, lesson of this podcast, if you take nothing else away, is to try to enroll in French culinary schools and other random programs, and they will have your information and they will do something with it. Now back to the actual topic. As you can see from the title, this podcast is going to be about my experience with the gym, especially in recovery. And if you're wondering, recovery from what? Well, first of all, a knee injury. I had a knee injury at the beginning of college. Not from anything. I think I just had bad form in the gym. So I went to physical therapy and I'm relearning leg day. But also my experience in the gym as a woman, because there aren't as many women in the gym, unfortunately, for a number of reasons I'll get into later. And then also my experience with going to the gym and learning that type of like movement and exercise in recovery from disordered eating, which is unfortunately all too common, and is a big thing that I think people should talk about more, but it feels like a very taboo subject and something that's really difficult to talk about. I'm even nervous talking about it right now, but yeah, I'm pretty sure the stats are that 70% of women are disordered eaters, and of course there are men with eating disorders too, all kinds, but I'm focusing on my experience today as a woman in the gym and with all of this. So I started going to the gym a few years ago in high school, and there was just like this tiny little rec center gym near my house that I went to. It's mostly a lot of random teens because there's a free teen program there, and a lot of senior citizens because that was the rec center for you. And I went there to unhealthily exercise, if that makes sense. You know, exercise with a bad mindset of, you know, burning off food or something like that. And that's a view I never ever want to have again with food or exercise. I, along with many other people out there, am working on intuitive eating, which incorporates exercise and movement for joy and for building strength and for helping your body to move at its best, but not to punish your body or to change your body in a negative way that puts a negative focus on your body. So if you've ever experienced any kind of insecurity around your body or food or exercise, first of all, I feel you. That's unfortunately a very, very common thing in our world, especially with how prevalent diet culture is in America, and especially among, you know, teenagers, young adults, and particularly women. I'm not really going to go today into how diet culture affects people because I can't even begin to get into that, and that is a really, really big topic to talk about, and one I don't feel I want to do without a guest because I want to have that be like a guest episode. But part of my intuitive eating experience has been trying to find ways to exercise that feel really good for my body physically, that make me feel, strong and that I get to sweat during and get endorphins from, but that also are mentally good for me, that I can go do to release some of my stress and to, again, get endorphins and all the great benefits of exercise. So for me, running was out. I talked about that in my last episode. I do not enjoy running. It's just not, I'm not very good at it, which is fine. And I've never really enjoyed it. So certain things like that I'm veering away from, but thankfully I found a lot of things recently that I do really enjoy. Like, I enjoy intramural sports at college. I think they're a really fun way to do a ton of different sports without added pressure of competition, because yes, it's competition, but if you're my friends and I, we're not taking it too seriously. I did basketball, soccer, and battleship this year, and I plan on doing those again. I might even do volleyball, but I also might ref it. That's a whole other thing. Anyway, I've really enjoyed getting to do just a lot of social sports and stuff, especially pickleball lately. Some of my friends and I will play pickleball at school. We have some courts right near my dorm. It's just a super great way to get outside and get some movement, get sweaty in a good way, and just feel really good. But also I started going to the gym instead of in an unhealthy way. I've been trying to, over the past couple years, make it a mentally healthy form of exercise for myself. And that can be really hard for a number of reasons. Gym culture is also deeply rooted in diet culture. If you don't believe me, just think about bodybuilders. There's nothing wrong with bodybuilding or anything like that. I think bodybuilding is so cool, but there's definitely a big focus on nutrition, and if you've ever heard of bulking and cuts, you probably are aware that there can be a lot of restriction and very strict nutritional and exercise rules with it. So some people are really good at keeping it at a healthy level, but I know personally with my experience, that's not the kind of thing I can easily get into and just be okay with. For anyone who's ever gone through any kind of restrictive phase where you didn't allow yourself to eat what you needed, or you overexercised, or you weren't allowing yourself to rest, that can be a really, really triggering environment for you. And I know some people are like, oh, I don't like the word triggering. I don't think it applies to this. It absolutely does. If you have ever had disordered eating, things can be incredibly triggering, and they can put you in a downward spiral, and they can cause a lot of disordered eating thoughts. And that can be really hard. Of course, they don't have to cause all those thoughts, and they don't have to be triggering, and that's something that you can work on, of course. But the gym it's a hard place to get into if you have a bad experience with it for any reason. So my journey with the gym has been kind of all over the place, honestly. So last year I started going to the gym with a friend, and she knew a lot about weightlifting. I didn't, so she was showing me her routine, and that was probably the first time I started enjoying the gym and seeing it as an accomplishment type thing. So I would, try to increase the weight of the dumbbells I was using over time and try to learn new things. So it became a learning experience where I could push myself to try more just for the sake of trying something new, not for any reasons really related to my body. And that was really helpful for me. I wasn't very consistent at the gym. I didn't have a car or a way to get to the gym, nothing like that. So I was pretty reliant on my friend. Very thankful for her taking me to the gym, though. It was really great. And so I continued working out then, and I would go every so often, and I was just learning how to use the different machines at the gym, and I really enjoyed that. And I will say in my experience at the gym, I do like a lot of different cardio exercises, of course, and they're important for you. It's wonderful to do exercises that are healthy for your heart, but I prefer to do those as kind of my social activities. Like I said, pickleball, sports, things that kind of incorporate running and other things without it just being, you sitting on a treadmill for 30 minutes, because that's not fun for me. So when I talk about the gym, I'm going to be focusing on the weightlifting portion of it, not the cardio portion, because of course it has its merit, but I don't find that I enjoy gym cardio as much as just other forms of movement in my life. Okay, so this year though at Tech, I started going to the gym because it was walking distance, and Melanie and I would go together sometimes, or I think I would go with a few other friends occasionally. There are also workout classes at the gym. You had to pay a separate membership fee, which kind of sucked, but we paid. It was fun, and I did like those group exercise classes. I think group exercise is a really good way to either like get familiar with the gym if it's a like weightlifting class, or just exercise socially, take some pressure off yourself, and just go for fun. So I'm gonna keep buying the membership and doing those because I love spin class. It's so fun, and they're playing amazing music, and there's like strobe lights. It's so fun. The lines for that are always insane though, so I wasn't able to go second semester because you have to get there like an hour early and just sit in a line. People are literally lined up sitting on the floor in the gym waiting to get into this cycle class, and it is just not worth it for me. So hopefully that changes next semester. But anyway, I was going to the gym more this year, and although of course like I had moments and days where I'd be like, oh, I don't feel good going to the gym right now, or I'd go to the gym and I'd like kind of lapse back into some of those former disordered eating thoughts. And I'm not even going to go fully into those because again, like I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a therapist. I can't really give like really good advice on that right now other than my own experience. I don't think that's not like the purpose of this pod. I'm just trying to talk about the gym specifically. But so I of course had bad days at the gym where I wouldn't really enjoy my workout, and I probably didn't have the best intentions for it, but that's okay because everyone has bumps in the road in their like recovery journey, and if you think the word journey is cheesy, that's okay. Like I kind of do too. I feel really cheesy saying it, but also what other word am I gonna say? So we're sticking with journey. Okay, so I started eventually with the help of some of my friends and with the help of Jack, who is very knowledgeable about gym because he's a powerlifter, and also just he's like very helpful about the gym. I know some people can be like, oh yeah, like here's my routine, here's what works for me, which is fine, but also it's like that's for their body and their routine, like that's different. But I, with some people's help, was able to kind of figure out a routine for me, and I've started going, I would say like maybe 2 to 3 times a week during the school year. Maybe second semester that was true. It wasn't always true, sometimes I would get up late. But anyway, I started getting into a routine with it. I would kind of divide my workouts into like sections, like upper body versus lower body. And so I started really getting into it, and now I want to be able to go to the gym over the summer because have you ever seen those TikToks or something that are like, oh, I want to go to the gym to get ripped, not because I want to be ripped, but because it's funny that XYZ job, that in this job I could be ripped. People are like, I want to be a ripped teacher, or I want to be like a jacked I don't know, plumber or something really random, or like I think one was like a guy who worked for Comcast. I think that's funny. I think it's like really cool to have a hobby and something you're into, and I need something to do with my summer. But also I have started seeing the gym as more of an accomplishment, not an accomplishment that you like need to have, but by any means. But for me, like I've tried at least to lately focus more on just increasing the weight of like machines I'm using, not instead of a focus on myself or my body. And that's been really helpful. So I'm really enjoying the gym. So I want to, like get equipment, get into it, have a gym membership, because, I had one built in at school, and I think I have one with my job this year, but until I start working, I'm trying to find free gym passes and stuff. So that's been its own little experience and adventure. But, Yeah, I'm enjoying going to the gym right now, and I think I want to get a weightlifting belt eventually because someone close to me recently was like, "Oh, you don't need a weightlifting belt. Ugh, those don't do anything." And I felt a little offended because I felt like they thought that I couldn't be at a level in the gym where I would need one, and I don't think that's what they were saying. But still, I was like, no, I am at a level in the gym where I need one because I'm at a point where I care about this a lot, and if in a couple months I'm still, consistent with the gym and enjoying it, I want to get my weightlifting belt. And I want to get a pink sparkly one, because why not? Pioneer Fit is a company that I've heard a lot of good things about, and I know like a good few people who have their weightlifting belts. They're definitely an investment, but they have one that happens to be like they have a sparkly option for their regular belt, and it's honestly cheaper than some of their others. So you bet I might be getting a pink sparkly one. I might also just get like a light blue one, but it'll definitely be a cute one because why the heck not? Because you're able to be quote unquote like girly and sparkly in the gym and also be really tough and cool and be super strong. And that doesn't make you less feminine or less tough. You can be both. In case you've never heard that, which you probably have, but I don't know. There are definitely people out there who think that you can't be both, and that pisses me off. It just pisses me off. Okay, so I wanted to talk about some things that are hard in the gym, though, still. I want to find one day a women's only gym. I don't think that's happening this summer because I don't think I live near any. And it's not like there's one at school, but nothing against like the polite gym guys. There's a lot of men at the gym who are like really polite, normal, or just doing their things, doing their exercises and their workouts, and good for them. But I think there's also a lot of toxic gym culture for men, like towards women. I know a lot of people don't feel comfortable wearing certain things at the gym because there's guys. And I hate when people are like, oh, then don't wear it. It's like, no, this is my cute gym fit. I want to wear this. I should be able to feel comfortable in this as long as it is like a gym workout fit that will actually be conducive to working out. Like, you go wear that. And you shouldn't feel uncomfortable in the gym for any reason. Also, a lot of people feel uncomfortable in the gym because they don't want to have to learn the machines. They feel like they should already know them, and they don't want to have to go and figure it out because there's already so many people who do know what they're doing. And personally, I sometimes at a new gym, I feel like I look around and I see maybe one other girl, maybe a few, and power to them because they are awesome. But then I feel like the gym is mostly guys, and I feel a little self-conscious to, go over, try a new machine when it's just surrounded by guys who are on it, who, even if they're just super normal people doing their thing, it feels a little intimidating because, I don't know, there's a weird culture around it. And I think that can be a really big thing is it's really hard to not know what you're doing and still want to go into the gym and try it out. That's where I think a women's only gym would come in, because I think it would be a more supportive environment for that, for gym girls trying to just learn. Like I was a while ago. Another thing that can be really good with that is, of course, like personal trainers are always, like nothing against them, but I feel like if you're just starting out, that's not something you necessarily like need, because that's expensive, right? So I feel like the the Walmart version of that would be just bringing like one of your friends with you who is like really good at the gym. My sister is super strong. I love going up to her and being like, you're jacked. But, yeah, she knows what she's doing in the gym. And sometimes I'll be like, hey, can you show me what you do for this machine or with like on this day of your workout? And that's how I'll learn things. And she said she, used to just look them up online. So there's a lot of ways to learn that aren't going to cost you money, So, personally, I think going with a friend is really good because you can do it in real time. You don't feel alone in the gym. You feel like if you do go over to an area with a ton of guys, you're with your friend. So, like, you feel a little less intimidated if you had felt intimidated before. I think gym buddies are a really good way to start feeling confident in the gym, because you have someone there who's already your friend who just wants to help you. And I've found that that's just super great. And I love going to the gym with friends still. Obviously it's harder in the summer, but whenever I do it, like, it just makes it more enjoyable. Things are more fun with friends. Again, shout out to group exercise classes for the same reason. I also, recently at the gym though, I noticed, every single machine has a little man drawn on it, and that just ticks me off sometimes. I hate that the default is for men, because, again, it just is one more little thing that makes me feel like I'm not fully welcome at the gym. And of course, everyone's welcome at the gym, but I think sometimes it can feel like I might not be if I don't know what I'm doing or something, for example. So getting started in the gym and knowing your way around the gym can be really hard, but yeah, gym buddies are really helpful for that. And confidence in the gym can be so hard if you're coming off of disordered eating. And again, I think a lot of people, when they're, initially like, oh, I need to recover from this, or someone in their life steps in, it can be really healthy to take a break from exercise. So I'm only referring to this as for when you feel ready to exercise again and can do so with a healthy mindset, in which you are not trying to change your body, but are instead trying to care for it. And that can take a really long time for people, and that's okay. The gym is not... Some people just don't like the gym, which is also great, because you can go find something else, that is wonderful for you. And not everyone has to like the same thing. Anyway, though, back to the gym. A huge barrier for me at the gym is the talk about body and nutrition and food. And of course, people want to eat nutritiously and care for their bodies. That's a good thing, right? But it becomes toxic when, for example, I went to a gym recently. I had a 3-day free trial. I loved the physical gym itself. The people there seemed nice. But as soon as I got there, they were trying to, pull me aside and be like, oh, here are our membership options. You should sign up. And I was like, okay, I know this is your job. I get it. But they also started giving me unsolicited advice, asking what my food intake was, what my workout goals were. Not necessarily bad questions for someone who was trying to work with a personal trainer or something, or be a bodybuilder and do all the things, try to figure out their workout goals. And yeah, I think it's great to figure out your workout goals. That's something I'm working on. But this man, again, a man, of course, was giving me unsolicited advice about this. He was like, oh, here's how much you should be eating. And he said something about my weight, and it was a neutral comment, but it was something about oh, you're not overweight, but here's how we talk, but here's how you should do cardio. And I was like, first of all, make no comments about my weight ever. And the little people pleaser in me just made no comments, because I didn't want to be dealing with this guy. I wasn't really going to go up against him, but I wish I had. I wish I'd been like, no, don't comment about my body ever. That's not okay. I don't know you. Stop it. But he was saying that, and he was trying to talk to me about equipment and be like, oh, and once you start working out, trigger warning on this a little bit because it triggered me. He said, once you start working out, maybe you'll go down a notch on a weightlifting belt. And I was like, why would someone say that? Because again, I didn't ask him for advice. I didn't ask him to tell me about equipment. He was suggesting Amazon lifting belts. Don't get a lifting belt from Amazon. Go to a better company, And I knew my way around lifting belts, and he was suggesting Amazon to me. So he didn't even really know what he was talking about with equipment. So first of all, he was not one to be giving advice on this. But even if he were, I didn't ask it. And that's the important thing, is I feel like there's a lot of unsolicited advice and comments about bodies in the gym. And the gym should be a place to support people in whatever their goals are with it. If that's to just enjoy lifting, great. If that's to bodybuild and compete, great. But I don't think people should act like there's only one right goal, you know? I think all goals in the gym should be supported as long as they're healthy and within good, like, as long as they're backed by good intentions and healthy, like, gym form, you know, not like dangerous things. Dangerous goals where you're trying to do stupid stuff in the gym that'll get you hurt. Not a good idea. I don't support that. But, you know, other gym goals I do support. But no, it can be a huge barrier to the gym or really any kind of exercise where you feel like people are going to talk about your body or people are going to maybe look different than you or anything like that. I mean, I think comparison is also a huge trap. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, but here's the thing. It's a barrier to the gym, and sometimes I still feel that way, but the one thing you can do is you can have your own boundaries around that. If you want to go to the gym and you're worried about if anyone ever comments, first of all, they have no right to comment. No one ever has the right to comment about your body. Unless they are telling you something medical and they have a degree and you asked for it and are at the doctor, great. But like otherwise, no. That random friend of yours who thinks they know a lot about the gym, they don't get to make a comment about your body unless you ask for it. But that's also true of yourself. I think it's so easy to compare yourself in the gym, your clothes, what kind of exercise you're doing. And you know what? Like, try to be kind to yourself in the gym too. And remember that you don't have to have the same clothes as everyone else. You don't have to have Lululemon sets. You don't have to be a bodybuilder like that random guy in the gym. You don't have to do all the same things as everyone. You don't have to look like everyone, whether that's in what you're wearing, whether that's in what kind of things you're doing, whether that's like anything. You do not have to be like everyone else in the gym. You can just go for your own enjoyment, you know? So if comparison with other people or fears about judgment or anything are stopping you from going to the gym, like they sometimes make me feel like not going to the gym, remember, you can set those boundaries with other people and also with yourself. You can say, hey, I'm not going to compare myself to this person. They've been going to the gym for 3 years, so yes, maybe they're going on to different machines than I am. They like know their way around better, but that's okay. I'm going to get there eventually. The other day I was at the gym and I was wearing like a random oversized t-shirt and I think like some Nike Pros like that I got like years ago. And you know, I didn't feel like I was wearing some like super cute gym set. And part of me was like, oh, I need to go buy some. No, I don't. Like, if you want that, well, I'll get into gym fits in a bit because I do care about them. Like, I do want to look cute in the gym for myself. But also, you don't have to. You can just wear what you want. There's no right way to, like, look in the gym, you know? Like I was saying, comparison isn't going to help you. Yeah. Just, you don't have to get the most expensive outfits for the gym. And don't feel pressure to do that. It's going to be okay. You can wear your big baggy t-shirt and that is fine. You can wear your super old shorts. Totally fine. As long as you feel comfortable in them and they fit you, great. I do think cute gym outfits do sometimes help with confidence. Just because, you know, if you feel like good with, like, if you love the color you're wearing, you're going to feel a little better. So yeah, like part of me does want to get like cute gym fits. And maybe like when I earn a little more money, I'll get a new, like, cute set. But right now, I bought, like, some Gymshark super sale items. I think it was, like, a $10 pair of shorts and then, like, a $10 sports bra. And those do make me happy in the gym. I love wearing my little Gymshark fit. But also on days when I'm not wearing that, I know I can still have as good a workout. So there's, like, two sides to that coin of, like, you can have a cute gym outfit, but don't feel pressure to. But that is a good, whatever you're wearing, know that you can feel confident in it, and it's your prerogative to wear what you want to the gym. Let's see what else I have in the notes. Oh, another thing that's kind of difficult for me in the gym right now is, like, I want to build muscle, right? So I know that it's good to have enough protein in your diet because, you know, protein is one of the important nutrients you need. I'm trying to avoid talking about macros because like counting macros can be a diet, right? Like that's the thing. I want to incorporate protein without it becoming a thing where I'm like counting macros, because that's never going to be good for me, right? But how do I do that, right? And I don't really have a good answer for that. I think that's something I'm still learning. But right now, what I'm focusing on is like additive nutrition, where like I will never ever be restricting what I eat, you know? I will never be doing that, especially not for the gym. Because I'm an intuitive eater and that's what matters to me. But I can try to add protein when I think of it. You know, if I'm hungry for a snack, I can get that snack, but I can also make sure that I have some protein in there to help fill me up and to contribute to some of my muscle growth in the gym. And like I bought protein powder, and I don't really like protein shakes, so I won't be just adding it to milk and making a protein shake, but I might add it to my oatmeal sometimes to, again, like add more protein. Never take away, but to add. And I also just really like that kind of idea of nutrition in general. Like if you're talking about it, again, that's another whole episode, but I like additive nutrition and like gentle nutrition where you're not restricting because that's disordered, but you're adding things that you know will help you. So lately I've been trying to find, you know, some like high protein lunches, not ones that like cut anything out, but normal lunches that also maybe have like an extra little snack with them. That's like a super protein snack, you know, something like that. So honestly, that's still something that's been hard for me to navigate, and that's okay. It's a learning curve. I'm still learning, and I know there are other people out there who've like tried to figure this out and probably have really good advice on it too. So you and I should both go look that up. But yeah, it's just a hard place to be when you're trying to not engage in the gym diet culture, but you also do want to get gym gains. I wanted to also just maybe not wrap it up yet, but one of my last things I wanted to talk about. One thing first. Gym goals. Those are hard to figure out when you are trying to steer away from diet culture, because your goals aren't going to be to look a certain way or anything like that. I never want to have a goal like that because I know that it can quickly become disordered for me. However, I am trying to solidify what my gym goals are. And I'm stealing a lot of this information from Jack, my boyfriend, so shout out Jack, especially if you're listening. But he was helping me figure some of this out because he's, again, like much more versed in this than me. But we were talking about how there's like a few different avenues to go about creating gym goals. So there's like strength, there's bodybuilding, there's overall health. And I personally am going to focus on, I think, a strength side of the gym, where yes, it is exciting to like see muscle growth and be like, oh my gosh, I have a muscle on my arm. That's always fun because, you know, I feel cool when I see that. But also, like, my main goal is going to be to learn more about the gym and what I enjoy in the gym. And that's like a good thing for anyone in the gym. You should always be trying things and figuring out what you actually like versus what you don't, because why waste time on something you hate? But also my goal is going to be to simply increase like numbers of pounds that I'm lifting, you know? So I'm going to try to gradually over time lift more and more. And that's a really, really basic goal, but it's one that does not focus on your body or how it looks, but rather what you can do. And it's a goal that's a little more flexible because, yeah, one day maybe you aren't going to lift as much and that's okay. But, like, you know, it's a more overarching goal of not like every single time I go to the gym I have to lift more and more. But over a period of time, I'd like to be able to lift a heavier weight. And, of course, that's going to apply to different machines and practices differently. Like, I don't know, it's going to be different for squats than it is for like dumbbell curls, but that's okay. You know, you'll figure it out. But having a goal in the gym is, I hope, going to help me focus on what I'm doing rather than on my body or anything like that. And I think that can be helpful for you too if you're ever wondering kind of how to go about this. Yeah, and there was another thought I had that just whooshed out of my brain. Oh, also, I hope you like the sound quality today. I'm using an actual microphone instead of just the voice memos app in my phone. So shout out to microphones everywhere. Yeah, I also wanted to, as my real last thing, just talk about why I like the gym. So I like the gym personally because it has been able to turn into a good stress relieving, body moving exercise that I can do that has goals that don't focus on my body, because again, we talked about strength goals, and that also consistently makes me feel better mentally. And in addition, just feels cool. So like a different sport or activity is going to work for everyone. And again, if you're taking a break from exercise because you need to work through some things, totally valid. Keep on. But I like the gym because I think when it's at its best, when it's not a weird toxic place, it's a really cool supportive place where people are all just trying to encourage other people to lift more and be better at that, and they're trying to encourage people to try new things. And it's a place where you get to just continually learn by yourself and what you can do and about different machines. And it's also like a really flexible thing where you can do different things on different days. You can switch things up. You can switch up your goals. You can add a buddy or you can do it solo. It's a really flexible form of movement for me. And I like the strength goals, and I like that I feel so freaking cool when I do it. I feel so cool when I lift a big weight. And not everyone cares about that, which I totally understand, but I kind of do right now. And I'm feeling it out. And I like having cute gym outfits when I want them versus, when sometimes you just have your old scraggly gym outfit and that's okay. And I want to have a weightlifting belt because I want to know that I am allowed to. Like, I want to know that I am at a level where I can get a weightlifting belt and use it and know that I will use it. Because no matter who you are, no matter what your level is in the gym, you are allowed to be there and you are welcome there. And as long as you have good intentions behind it, I think that the gym can be a wonderful place to be and to grow. So that's my soapbox for today on my experience with the gym. Let me know if you have any questions about the gym. I didn't really go into details about what I actually do in the gym, which I know might be frustrating if you're like, but what do you do? There's actually only like 4 of you listening, so I don't know if you're really like super curious about that. But, if I go viral one day, maybe. Yeah, I think it's a great place, and I encourage people to try it if you've been wanting to. If you don't want to, go stick with what you like. But if you do want to, it's always there for you. It's a place where you can just discover. And that wraps it up, but go follow at listen_to_May, spelled MEA, on Spotify, on Instagram, and then follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, literally anywhere you're listening. I don't know where people are listening, but I personally listen to podcasts on Spotify, so I always say that first. Yeah, go enjoy your day. Go try the gym. Go check out Gymshark, because this is obviously not sponsored, but I would love it if Gymshark did sponsor me. And go give the gym a try if you've been nervous about it. Bring a buddy. Go look up some exercises. Go just try whatever you can to make you feel a little bit more powerful today, because you deserve to take care of your body in a way that feels good to you. Peace out.